Hello. I've finally made up my mind and gotten a pen that has been on my mind for about 5 years. This is the 2020 Patron of Art dedicated to Montezuma, 888. So this pen has made the rounds already a few times on the, on the pen blogger circuit. And usually if you see a pen like this multiple times from non-independent channels, it means the pens are hard to sell. So I suspect this was a pen that was hard to sell. And it also brings up an interesting point when it comes to whether these pens are investments or expenses. And I think in this case, you have a very good example of why this is not an investment, because Montblanc still sells this 5 years on at a very similar retail price. So it's not gone up at a price that would have matched inflation. So there you go. Quick look at why it's not really an investment. If you had bought one of these, you probably would have been able to sell it for much more than what you paid for it. So outperformed by pretty much any other type of investment that's wise. Now, I didn't get this pen originally because of the incongruence that you can see between the heavy texture of this section here and the rather smooth texture of the cap. So this pen is noteworthy if you've not seen it, because the cap is essentially this entire section. Let's get that out of the way. Beautiful box, but not what you want to see. So this sort of incongruence of texture, we've got a lot of texture here and very smooth, no texture here, feels a bit not particularly well thought out. I would have really liked that these glyphs would have had texture to them instead of being simple colors. So this monotone effect is not the greatest. It's not as bad as I thought, because the colors are an underlay and there's a clear overlay that gives it a bit of depth to stand out against the silver, but it doesn't have the right texture, I feel, for me. So originally that's why I didn't get it. And the other reason why I didn't get it was that the shape, so the grandeur of something like this, it feels very special. It feels unlike any other pen. It doesn't evoke a pen. If you see it laying down like that, it's not a pen, it's an instrument. But once again, this barrel felt too simple compared to the other types of barrels they may have had on other 888s to really justify its inclusion. However, over time, of course, opinions change. And I think my expanding interest in other pen companies made me realize actually how much I prefer pens like this from Montblanc. Montegrappa is definitely the thing I'm thinking of here when you've got, once again, very similarly priced limited edition pens that are shaped like knights, like samurai, like like gladiators. It feels completely ridiculous. So it's no longer anything that evokes a pen, it's an ornament. And it's a really bad ornament, because for that price you can get really nice bronzes. So a pen should be close enough to a pen for you to realize that it is a writing instrument, but some leeway with something like this to test the bounds and the limits of what actually can be a pen. So this is I think the fourth, or maybe the fourth or fifth type of pen that has an elongated cap like this. So this is the cap and this is the pen. The other ones that have elongated caps like this are, I think, they made one for Egyptomania, they made one for Andy Warhol, and they made one for Picasso. Very, very beautiful pens, and sadly I don't have any of them. But yeah, it's a strange decision. The other thing that made me change my mind is that this is one of the last, if not the last, pen that was conceived, designed, and executed before COVID, before a lot of the inflation pressures put a lot of prices on the commodities. And I don't know now if they would make a pen this big out of solid silver. So this cap is supposed to be solid silver. The what do they call it? The attle handle here. So this is designed to resemble an implement that is used to fire a spear. So you hold it with two hands and throw the spear. This is supposed to be solid gold, as is the finial, adorned with, once again, a beautiful mother of pearl. Let's see if we get that shine. Beautiful mother of pearl emblem. Also solid gold. I'm not too sure if the clip is, I highly doubt that they would make a clip out of solid gold. That would definitely not last. And the body, once again, solid silver. The cone filling mechanism here, I think, is also solid silver. And these inlays here are solid gold. I don't think they would want to make a pen like this anymore with the prices that they've got for gold and silver, at least not at this price range. So while they're still making 888s, they are a bit more expensive these days, and I do think they are not as generous with the precious metals. So other details of the pen, I love these glyphs. Like I say, I wish they would be a bit more detailed. This type of simple design feels like a modernization of what these glyphs would have actually looked like in the Incan Empire. The spear is absolutely fantastic, and I'm going to see if I can get a quick look here at these types of, so these are supposed to resemble feathers, I think. You can see machine marks of the device, of the bit they use to machine out those, or that texture. You can see those little swirl marks that you get from that type of end mill. And then the finial, as I mentioned, while it is solid gold, it's designed to resemble a sunstone, a ceremonial ornament, massive piece of stone carving that they use in ceremonial battle reenactments. So somebody would tie to that stone and then bludgeoned to death with some sort of implement. So I don't think there's too much here that is new. Everybody's gone over this pen several times, and the 4810 has a lot of similar imagery, same type of nib, and the same pattern, although a different color, that's supposed to be on the royal cloak, and the same type of hammered aesthetic that is supposed to resemble a type of, obsidian, I think, or flint weapon. So that's another problem I find with this particular design. The flint napping here is too uniform to be reminiscent of what you'd find if you were actually doing this, or actually seeing this on an actual blade. But I digress. Now, another thing that I wanted to do, another reason why I wanted this pen, was to do a side-by-side comparison. When I first saw these pens, I noticed that the pairing of the pen with the cap was not great. The colors here match with the turquoise in the cap, but they also match with the red, actually let's see if it does, with the red of this pen. So I have been longing to do this for as long as I have seen this pen, and pairing this pen with this cap, it fits wonderfully. The gold is not quite yellow enough, I guess. This would be champagne gold, I'm not too sure, but it's got its assay mark there on the pot handle or on the addle handle, along with the limited edition number there. So I think that goes together, those two go together. And then this is the cap of the 4810, and it has the same pattern milled into it as you've got there on the barrel, that sort of round and square section. Same thing there. And I think these two go together. This really is something that I think was a design mistake. Maybe it was a mistake on purpose, I don't know. Feels like these two go together, and the red one goes better with the other one. There we go. I think that's, the gold is a bit off, but I think that's pretty neat to be able to put those two together like that and have them be used in this way, because this feels like it pairs so much more cohesively with that matching texture. And the red of the cap pairs exactly with the red of the barrel. So we've got natural daylight here, so that should be pretty loyal color. So I think the other gripe I've always had with this is that this barrel does not feel special. So when you see the pen in its entirety capped, like I say, it's very majestic, it's very grand, it's very unlike a pen. It feels more special than a pen. But then when you uncap it, you end up with this anticlimactic disappointment, I would say. Because you expect more, I think, from the actual pen. The nib is quite nice. I've used the 4810. It's quite stiff, as you can imagine. This is quite a small nib compared to their standard nibs, even for any 146. Yeah, I think it is the smallest nib that they have on Patron of Arts or Masters of Arts, but it's still a wonderful nib to use. Quite stiff, but very nice. So because, I guess one last thing I'll mention, because the cone is used to not only activate the piston, but also to unscrew the, careful, unscrew the pen from the cap. It needs to do double duties. And there we go, we can tighten it. And if we want to activate the piston, we dislodge it. We pull it out from the body of the pen, and then it activates the plunger inside, or the piston inside, to fill the pen. So there you have it, a very interesting pair of pens. I think not the best match. I'm not too sure if those, oh sorry, where are we? There we go. Those two stones on the end, I'm pretty sure they're synthetic. The green stone versus the red stone fit really well, but I digress. I'm being too picky. Two beautiful pairing pens that I think are going to be quite a centerpiece of the collection, to have both of them together. So this is actually the only 888 that I have with a matching 4810. Usually I just get one or the other, because the designs are usually not as complementary as this. But here, it's impossible not to get both. Okay, so there you go. A quick little summary of Montblanc's 2020 Patron of Arts. This time definitely the last Patron of Arts that I'll be sharing with you guys. Let me know if you've got questions or comments.